Hey guys, welcome back. So today we're going to be just locking in on a new session for the part 3 of this video. The first thing you're going to want to do is always just make sure you have your Alpaca dashboard open, and you just have to make sure that you're in your trading portfolio. And if you haven't done that, please look back at videos 1 and 2 for fundamentals. As always, you're not going to be able to continue unless you really know some fundamentals here. So whenever you're in Claude, as I mentioned in my other videos as well, is you have your chat, your cowork. You want to make sure you're in code. And for this session, I will be starting a new Alpaca paper trading account, so you guys can see how that is formatted from the jump. And as you guys can tell, we're going to be doing another API session with Alpaca. So let me get Alpaca back and let's get a new paper trading account. So this is the first one that we created on the second video. Just for those who weren't there, I'm going to start from scratch and go to a new paper trading account. I'm going to call it Pawtax Alpaca Sim Part 2, like the name of my folder. I'm going to put only $1,300. And this one here is whenever you want to do a live account balance, where like, let's say you already have your live account set up, you can click on this to actually set up a live account. I don't have a live account yet, so we're going to set that up in a future video. This is still paper trading, which is no real money has been used, right? So let's make sure we have that. And then we created the other account. As you guys can tell, this is part 2. And if we go here, we have our $1,300. Great. So then it's really easy for you guys. If you guys do not know anything about prompting, I made it super easy where you can just copy and paste into it. And as you guys can tell, the blue parts here is what you need to replace. So I'm going to be doing that really quick. Copy and paste it from here, but if you go to account manager, it's really easy to just copy and paste from here. So the first thing I want to do is just go in here and put my Alpaca folder credentials. Make sure your folder is named exactly what the Alpaca credentials are. And then first prompt is save Alpaca credentials to Claude Trading folder. So you're just going to copy that, copy, and then go over to your Claude session. And I want to make sure that you guys are aware, this is how you add a folder. I just put this in my documents. I have the part 1, which we did in the second video, and then we're using this just so I can refresh with you guys just in a quick kind of run through. So this is going to be Pawtax simulation part 2. I make sure that this is open, and now you can see that this is visible here. Great. So now I'm going to paste my stuff in here. I want to make sure that that folder is identical to what is here, so you guys see the match there. So let's send that in. And then naturally Alpaca is going to ask me, hey, what are your credentials then if I'm going to be just using this folder, So I think we'll let it think while we grab those. I already know it's going to ask me that, so we're going to just copy that. Before writing anything, 2 things I want to flag. 1, practical about doing this safely. The credentials didn't come through. What you pasted still as placeholders. Yes. So you see it picked up on that naturally. And then we're going to give it our credentials. And we're going to send it. So we also want to make sure that these are really detailed credentials to a paper trading account. And I will have several, so we will only be using this folder. As you can tell, it wants permission to the folder, just like it did in the last video. I'm always going to allow it because Alpaca is going to be in tabs with a lot of that folder. So it's going to be in my local folder, and got it filing these into EMV and locking it down, which is great. So it's locking it down. It actually memoried up the credentials. Done credentialings are saved and locked down. Here's the final state. So your real Alpaca sim credentials, and then a blank template to keep it safe. And then this ensures it's never committed or pushed. So it's saying that it created 3 new documents. So where would you see that? You don't see it anywhere here. It actually is going to be stored in this folder. So where do we find that folder? And just to prove the concept, we're going to find that folder really quick. We're going to go to Finder. And then we're going to see our documents. We're going to go to the Alpaca part 2. So yeah, it says write, that's expected. The files start with .env, which makes the files hidden. So that makes sense. They're all still there. To reveal hidden files, it's control or command shift period. So let's try that really quick. Command shift period, and yep, there you go. So as you guys can tell, the beautiful Claude files have created our API credentials and have encrypted them, and they're kind of embedded into that folder now, which is wonderful. So you have the API keys, you have a connection. So what do you want to do now? So like I mentioned to you guys, we want to make sure that we trade one individual stock and simulate it with that one stock. I've realized from my past experience that whenever you use AI and you prompt it with way too much stuff, like I don't want to overflow it with like 10 stocks, right? I want to start with one stock. I want it to understand it really well. I want the data to be really in depth with what it knows. And then I want it to trade and perform really well on the live market, which is tomorrow starting at 9:30. As I mentioned in my other video, the market is from 9:30 to 4 p.m. I'm in Eastern Standard Time. So Monday through Friday, guys, we're going to trade. Tomorrow's Friday. I don't know how good the market would be, but we're going to check it out. Either way, the stock is up 6%, which is pretty nice. And as you guys can tell, it looks like it has a pretty good amount of potential. So let's try it. My account has $1,300 and the ticker here is DFTX. So I have, like I mentioned, this beautiful master prompts link down in the description. So you guys are done with the first one, which I just did for you. You're going to go to the second one. It's going to ask you, hey, what's the ticker? So what's a ticker? The ticker is actually the 4-letter acronym for Definium Therapeutics. So it's DFTX in this case. DFTX. How many number of shares do I actually want to get? As I want to buy. And then I choose one here. So delete that. And then this is going to be, so this is the difference between a market and limit order. So a market order is actually something that executes immediately. And you can do this, you know, when the market is closed. You can place the order when the market is closed. A limit order is when it reaches a certain price. So for like instance, if I didn't want to buy it at $44.79 and I thought tomorrow it was going to drop to like 41, I would wait and put, you know, a limit order where essentially, you know, it only executes when the stock hits a specific price range. And that's a limit order. So I'm not going to do that because I'm testing something immediately and effectively with my code. So once the order is placed below, show me the full summary, including whether the order was successful. And this is how we test our first trade. We did this in the last video. I'm just doing the same simulation for you guys on a quick speed run. So boom, we're going to open up Claude. Boom, there you go. And as you guys can see, it's gonna just try to get the new DFTX stock. So like it did in the last video, it's gonna ask you for permissions to start trading. It's gonna ask you for a lot of permissions. You're not only gonna give it permissions once or twice, you're actually gonna give it permissions a few times. So expect that. So if you guys are thinking, oh, I'm only gonna give it permission once, no. You're going to give it permissions a few times, all right? It's going to ask you, again, it's going to take the DFTX price from the market clock. Yes, allow once. I think it's 4 or 5 times before you actually get some successful kind of feedback from the Claude console. So let's see what's up. So right now it looks like it's actually active. Cash buy was 1,300 exactly. So it's going to split that into different shares. We're about to see how many. The market is not open because it's right now, it's pretty late actually, it's 12:36 a.m. So it is officially Friday, but the market doesn't open till 9:30 as I mentioned. So 2 problems: executes immediately at the current price. It's not possible right now. The market is closed. Any market order is submitted and we'll see in queeved till 9:30. The price is jumpy and the spread is huge. Last trade was $44.79, but the ask is $51.62 at the open. The market could fill anywhere in that range. And since your buying power is exactly $1,300 with no buffer, a market order fill high, could get rejected for insufficient buying power, or eat 100% of your cash, which is not good. So it's just giving you a heads up saying, hey, don't buy this unless the market's open, which makes sense. So it's saying essentially I can't fulfill this immediately. So it's going to ask you a few options here when the market is closed. Queeve in the market, use a limit order instead, wait and place at open. So I just want to see that it works. And so in order for me to buy this, obviously the market is closed until 9:30. And what I want to do now is essentially I want to make sure that it has that potential to actually buy 25 shares. It looks like mathematically it could do. And it looks like we're going to submit the order. It's not going to be happening altogether until tomorrow, which is fine. You know, you can take this from a values perspective and you can buy 25 shares, but it's not actually going to execute till 9:30 in the morning, which is fine. That's when the market opens. Ask is 51, which is crazy. So there's a little bit of a spread there, right? So total trade value is essentially going to be between 975 and 1290, worst case at risk, right? So it's just giving you kind of a quick options. And actually, we're going to change our mind here. We're going to be really strategic, and we can even ask it, you know, can you analyze the market? And this is where things get really interesting for me. I want you to download all of the data for DFTX, and I want you to give me the best calculated limit buy. Here's what I want you guys to prompt next. I'm gonna do this prompt where I'm actually wanting it to download all the DFTX data, and I want it to give me the best limit buy, okay? And that's what it's probably gonna do for me now. So now it's actually gonna ask me for way more permissions because obviously it's gonna use Alpaca to download a lot of data. Alpaca is going to help us out because it has a lot of data. Like that's essentially, it's a data source. It's an API source, which feeds into Claude. And look at that. It's going to ask me, allow Claude to download DFX daily minute snapshots into trading folder. Allow. So we're going to want all that metadata of DFTX because that's what we're going to be focusing on for this video. So it looks like the data downloaded is about 1,297 daily bars for 5 years. And 1383 minute bars in the last week. And then it's going to ask me for averages, volatility, support, and then I'm always just going to allow it because it's something that I'm going to be trading very commonly. But right now, as you can tell, it's making some really good estimates of where we should buy it as a limit. And as you could tell, it's giving me aggressive, balanced, and patient. So it's giving me kind of like a medium and, you know, high kind of like posture. So let's take a look. The one that's lower here is patient. It's 4140. I kind of like 4140. So it's gonna ask me which one do I want. It looks like volatility is definitely high because it could go both ways. I'm definitely gonna go for like the patient value because I know it would reach it. Like I know it would reach it. So yes, I'm gonna actually so I'm gonna decide, and I'll let you guys decide on whichever posture you want to take. I'm not aggressive, I'm not balanced, and I'm definitely somebody that's patient. So I would say I'm gonna prompt it, yes, please cancel my other orders and please put a limit buy or a limit purchase for the patient value of $41.40. And as you guys can tell from my original request, right, where it was going to buy 25 shares, if it's interacting with Alpaca, you guys will see that in the console here below. And as you guys could tell, the quantity was 25. So now you guys could see that this is connecting with the API. Alpaca's working, the dashboard's reflective of that. And this should now, instead of being a buy, it's going to be canceled because this is accepted, but we don't want that any longer. We're going to make more strategic decisions. We want to make sure we're smart when we're actually making our orders with some live money. This is a simulation. For that reason, we're all trying to understand this, and I'm trying to guide you guys as best as possible while using Claude. So doing both. All right, so then it's going to cancel the orders. It's going to ask me for permission, which is fine. So we're going to give it some more permissions, and then it's going to ask me to cancel it, confirmed. Now placing the limit buy, and as you guys can tell, 4140 is my patient value. Allow, and it canceled, placed the orders, boom, and actually is successful now. So this is great. This is wonderful. So now what we're going to be doing is actually letting this thing run in the market. I'm trying to really talk to the community through these videos, and it really will help me out if you guys could just seriously interact. It's actually going to make all the difference for me, and that's why I'm really doing it, because I'm limited to my own knowledge, and what Claude knows is sometimes hallucination, which is not too helpful. So for those of you guys that are out there in the community, in finance or in trading stocks, I would love to talk. I would love to interact. Let's do this. The next step is actually seeing what happens. So let's make sure that the actual Alpaca console is there. And as anticipated, it canceled the first one that we put in, and now it accepted that with a limit buy at 4140, which is exactly what we wanted to do. I'm going to stop the video here. If you guys have any questions at this point, please drop them in the comments. If you guys have the willpower to follow the next one, please stay tuned.
Our time was sweet, but now it's done. I'll check.
Goodbye.